You are watching live on the Triple F show. It's me, Richard Pyle, and Scott Davis. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much, buddy. Again, sitting here contemplating about the recent departure of the group.
Yeah, it's like we can never seem to find a solid third. We had a solid four, and it went to a solid third, and now it's a solid two. So maybe it's just me and you from here on out, which is no big deal. No hard feel. We have no hard feelings towards the gentleman to the left at all.
Nope.
And that's just the way it goes. But
Hopefully he'll be on, making appearances for the big fours.
yeah, maybe. Well, except for today, of course,
Right.
because I think he is working tonight. I think he said he works like 12 to 9, and he's only off like 2 days a week. So I'm sure he just got relatively busy with it. But I mean, hey, we're all busy, so
Just to address it real quick, he left the show because he didn't feel he could contribute to it because he worked too much now.
yeah, and
So
that's
we can respect that. People need
yeah,
to support their families.
yep. All right, so before we get into the SummerSlam pay-per-view card, let's talk about a little bit. What were your final thoughts on that pay-per-view last night at Takeover?
I'm sorry, I just got distracted by the SummerSlam 2013. I'm watching
Oh
the
yeah,
final match. Those
yeah.
flames, though, guy, and those Inferno matches.
So, what
My
did you?
take over
Yeah,
last night.
yeah.
I'm hoping that they put on as good a show at SummerSlam. Ricochet winning the North American Heavyweight Championship. That to me is just brought a lot of credibility to that belt.
Oh
And
yeah.
honest, that belt's more credible to me than the WWE Heavyweight Championship.
Anything's more credible than the Universal Championship right now.
Right? How
And
the
we're gonna
belt,
talk about that later on, but
the replica belts in the fucking gift store are fucking more credible.
it's ridiculous on how well Triple H and dang Steven Regal have got that show going with the booking, the writing. I don't particularly care for the women's champion there, and maybe she'll eventually drop that. She'll get moved up to the main card.
What, Baszler?
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of
Baszler
Baszler.
dropped the belt last
Or
night.
did she? I must
Yeah.
have missed the end of the match, but maybe that. Oh yes, she did drop the belt. So I'm hoping that they move her up to the main card, just because I'm not a fan of hers, and I think she kind of, what I'm saying. I think she puts a little bit of diminishment to that belt, but then again, who knows?
Well, like I said, they took it off for last night.
Yeah, that's good. That
And
was a smart move.
honestly, that was the worst match of the fucking night.
I
I
had
don't
no interest in it.
I don't know what in the hell is going on with the women's division in WWE lately, but they were on fire for so long, and now they're just garbage.
Hmm. It's ridiculous. I mean, we saw a women's division a few months ago that was better than the men's division, and now it's
Yeah.
just evened out to be just average wrestling in the WWE. Well, I'm not talking about NXT. I'm talking about the regular main WWE roster. So,
If you told me in January they were going to do an all women's pay per view, I would have been ecstatic for it. This one coming up, I have no interest in it
I
whatsoever.
don't either. I like I said, we've said this countless times. You should have done a women's tag team division before you did an all women's pay per view. I mean, it just makes sense because you only got two belts: the SmackDown Championship and the Raw Championship for the women's division. There's no tag team division. There's no like. It's only one belt in the Divas and the women's division, and it's ridiculous because you got how many belts in the men's division, and I think hopefully
But
they do
that
this
falls
right.
under the old prestige of women's wrestling was bathroom break time.
Yeah,
It was never an important thing, even though you had people like the Fabulous Moolah who held it for 28 years. You know what I mean? That belt was prestigious. The belt meant something. Until Alundra Blaze dropped it in the trash can on Monday Nitro. Then Vince McMahon is like, no more women's championship for a while. Alundra ruined that one.
yeah. I do have to say, back in the '90s, I think the WWE had a better women's division than the WCW did.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about it, you had China and Luna Vachon, Trish Stratus, all, and I mean, it was a load of women's division back in the '90s to early 2000s. And who do you remember from the women's division in the WCW outside of Medusa, who was rarely on television. So I mean, and that's just the history of how this goes from the '90s, and now you look at it, it's becoming more more women driven, and I think they're in the sad
Casey
part is
Keebler.
yeah, and this well that
Legs.
was yeah legs, but it's like I
Fucking
said, you've got it
those legs
where.
connected to a nice ass as well.
But I mean, it's like I said, you've got a division now that has the talent, but it's just handled poorly, and that's just the WWE in general right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is a lot of talent and no idea how to use it, and I think that we can speak volumes for all the true wrestling
That's
fans,
because
except them
Vince
fucking
McMahon is
face
buying
fans.
every bit of fucking talent he can get.
Yeah,
That's
and
it's like I keep seeing this meme on Facebook about how Andre the Giant, Kurt Hennig, and Rick Rude never had a world title. No, you fucking idiotic face fans. Listen, all right, goddamn humanoids need to fucking open the ears and listen. Kurt Hennig was the AWA World Heavyweight Champion. Rick Rude was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, along with other minor league promotions. Just because they were not the WWF champion does not take any credibility away from their careers and what they've
oh
done.
no, look at Scott Hall, never held the world title in WWF or WCW,
He
and
held
look
it
at
in
the
Memphis.
influence. Well, that's what I'm saying, but I'm talking about the two big promotions that he was part of.
Mm-hmm.
Never held the title, but look how much influence with the NWO,
Well, hold
the
on. You can't
Click.
take away from the AWA back in the day. The
Oh no,
AWA was quite the. They were right up there with Crockett, so you can't really take away from
oh no,
AWA.
I'm talking
He
about
was
what made
AWA.
what the influencing of the Monday Night Wars did for Scott Hall's career.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not taking anything away from AWA, but I'm just saying in general, if you look at it, he was an accomplished athlete, one of the better athletes when he was sober, kind of like Sean Waltman, a great athlete from what
When
great,
he's not
great
mething it,
when he's not mething it or boozing it up. I mean, Kevin
maybe he's born
Nash.
with it. Maybe it's methylene.
Kevin Nash still having knee replacements done every other year. I mean,
His quad.
quad knees. I mean, it's just it is what it is. But man, if you going back to this women's division though, it's like I said, the talent is there. You bring in Ronda Rousey, and I just and I love Ronda Rousey, but I think it's like I said, we'll get into the SummerSlam. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about her being in a title match, but I just so. But yeah, it's like I said, man. NXT always does great with their programming, and it's kind of like you look at NXT and said maybe they just ought to scrap the WWE completely, and then just have NXT come on regular television, and then drop the WWE back down to network only live. I mean, you want to get ratings, and more people watch NXT than they do the WWE these days, and it's getting more raves. Like we talked about it last night in the chat. How hot was that crowd last night from the moment of the opening bell all the way to the end with
and they
Ciampa
and the
beating
seats were sold out
Gargano?
too.
Yeah, and it's like I said, you want to make the ratings, and I still worry next fall about this Fox coming over and buying WWE for SmackDown rights. Oh man, the way the product is now, it's like we said, man, it may be you said it. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could be the beginning of the end if they can't figure out how to handle this
They,
booking.
they're turned into WCW, and anyone that doesn't see it, I don't know what to say to them.
No,
They really
I
are.
see it. And you look
The,
at the other
the shit
promotions.
matches, the gimmick matches, the bullshit gimmick matches, the shitty matches. I'm just waiting for a Viagra on the pole match with Vince McMahon versus somebody.
Vince McMahon versus his son, or versus yeah, who's got the bigger balls?
Vince McMahon versus Shane O'Mac for the brass balls. Takes
so
control of it. Stephanie McMahon runs in with and fucking grabs both balls with Linda McMahon. Or Stephanie and Linda McMahon and fucking Shayna's wife come down and grab the balls off the fucking pole. We own those bitches.
Triple H and Vince for control over WWE. I wonder how many people cheer for Triple H during that match. Everybody booed the hell out
Do
of
you
Vince getting
realize
out.
how many idiotic face fans would actually believe it was real and not a gimmick? Do you realize how many people I will
Oh
be
yeah.
arguing with when that happens?
Oh, I'm quite a bit.
It's like I have to.
The face fans will come out get behind their keyboards and start typing up. Oh man, we need to do this better. Oh, this is legit. It's just I don't know, man. It is what it is. So what do you and I know we just talked about this let's go ahead and get into this pay-per-view coming up here. Well, the pre-show kicks off in about an hour and a half.
The crap review.
Probably. Yeah, the pre-show game. Yeah, so yeah, the crap review in other words, but so, I mean, I don't know, man. After what we saw at
See, Bruce
WrestleMania,
Pritchard, you're not the only one that can come up with fancy little catchphrases.
after the pay-per-view that was so lackluster of WrestleMania, Money in the Bank was not that bad, but it was that backtrash that really just. And then the Extreme Rules was kind of
You liked Money in the Bank?
In a way, I did, but in a way, I didn't. I think when giving Braun Strowman the Money in the Bank was a smart business move. It's kind of like they have, like I said, it's you going into the night. You've got that. You got Braun Strowman's. You got that contract sitting in your back pocket in case these fans turn on Reigns and Lesnar, though.
You got your Brooklyn screw job ready. That's what you got.
Yeah, pretty much saying, well, if they start turning on Roman Reigns, we can cash in with Braun Strowman.
So, no, you realize what that was, don't you? That was them not knowing if Brock was going to sign another extension on his contract.
Oh yeah, that too.
And them knowing that if Brock doesn't want to drop that belt to Boomin, Brock's not walking out without that belt. If Brock went full shoot in that match, are you kidding me right now? Former UFC heavyweight champion, current UFC star, against a WWE gymnast. Because let's be realistic, that's what these guys are. Yep. They're fucking gymnasts. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying nothing bad about them about it, but it is what they do. They're high flying gymnasts.
Acrobats.
Yeah, they're acrobats.
If you've seen the movie Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey when he's like, it's like a ballet, and that's pretty much what it is. We all know it's soap operas, and we all know we love it too. We love it because it's they go in there and they fake beat the hell out of each other, but we love the storylines, we love the action, we love.
As you brought Man on the Moon up, not to cut you off, but seems you brought up that great movie with Jim Carrey that stars Jerry King Lawler as well.
Yep.
That covered the Andy Kaufman feud between them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that Jim Carrey is such a method actor that he took that to an extreme?
Oh yeah.
Like he realistically in his head believed everything, whereas Andy Kaufman and Jerry King Lawler were actually friends in real life. They planned everything out together.
Oh yeah, that was that was one of Jim Carrey's finest movies, and we're not going to get into the movies aspect.
Although Lawler almost killed him when that was set.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because he would call Lawler at home and tell him off and pretend to be a character and stuff like that. It was crazy. If you should get the chance to watch the special features or the documentary they have on Netflix.
Andy versus Jim or something like that. It's on there. But it goes into detail. Yeah. So right now, as it stands, they've got 2 matches on the pre-show. So where do you want to start? You want to start with the B team, or do you want to start with Rusev and Lana?
First of all, the fact that the B team is on the pre-show is bullshit in my eyes.
Okay, so let's go with that one.
Anyone that's ever listened to our show knows how much I think of, Mr. Perfect's son, Curtis Axel.
Oh yeah, and Bo Dallas.
Yep. Very fucking connected to the Wyndham family all the way back. Yeah.
Iris's son,
Mr. Bray Wyatt's
son. So we got the B team going
Bray Wyatt's dad.
Pre-show, and I'm actually going to agree with you. I do not agree with them putting a freaking. Actually, you got 3 pre-show matches as well, so I did not see that.
Why are you going to put the tag titles on the pre-show?
That exactly. Why are you going to put? I think all the titles should be on the main event card, but that's just me.
Let's diminish the fucking title. You know what I mean? Let's kill a title's credibility more. We're gonna say that we're gonna say that we don't believe in our tag team champions this much, our Raw tag team champions, that we're gonna put them we're gonna put the championship match on the pre-show. Really? To quote Miz.
So we got the B team versus the Revival. The Revival won that triple threat tag match
Fuck the
on Raw.
Revival.
Yeah, I don't really care. I think they're a good tag team, but I just don't see them winning these titles. I think they're going to keep the titles on the B team, but I think you're going to see, and this can be a bold prediction. I think you're going to see Jason Jordan come back after SummerSlam, or we're going to get American Alpha. Because if I'm being realistic, and there's not taking nothing away from the B team, let's be realistic here. The Raw tag team division is absolute garbage outside of the B team, and maybe I'm a fan of the Deleter of Worlds just because it's different. But why did you move the bar to SmackDown and then not have nothing for them to do when they were arguably the best tag team on Raw at the time? It just I just
You're
don't get
moving
it.
SmackDown because you're tired of seeing the same old New Day feud. Because New Day in the bar put on good matches. Everyone's sick
Yeah.
of seeing the Usos versus the New Day. Nobody wants to see that no more. So we're going to go back to rerun of the New Day versus the Bar. And let's be honest, the Usos versus the Bar will be quite good as well.
You still could have sent another tag team over from there, which we got Breezango came to Raw, but I'm talking about contending tag titles. But so like I said, I'm taking the B team in this, and I think I don't know why I think they're a heel tag team because I can't stand the gimmick, but it's over as hell in the WWE, so fans love it. But I don't know, man. I just think it's a weak division, and that's probably why they've got them holding the titles right now. But I'm taking the B team.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the B team too. Because can I just say right now, fuck the Revival.
If our former compadre was on here, he would say the same thing. All right. One of
Yeah.
the most pointless matches that are going into the pre-show is Rusev and Lana versus Almas and Vega.
Who fucking cares?
Exactly. I'm going with Rusev Day just because I like Rusev Day, but I still got a feeling that Aiden English is going to have his hand. And that's the thing. See, it's an intriguing match with Aiden English because he's completely cost them either one of them a match for the last month. So I don't know. I think they're building a Rusev versus English for maybe the next pay-per-view or, continually building that. But I still think Aiden English is going to have something to do with this match tonight. But like I said, I'm taking taking the Bulgarian Brute in this one in Lana, just because I think the fans love Rusev Day. I love Rusev Day.
I don't see Vince having. I don't know. They're trying to push Alma. They're trying to make him the new fucking Del Rio.
Mm.
And I'm not impressed with him one bit. Honestly, I'm not.
I'm surprised they didn't bring up Adam Cole instead of Almas.
I wasn't at the time.
No, I said they should have.
I was gonna say. I think you said you were shocked they were.
No, I said they should have brought him up. Which I don't know why Adam Cole's still on the NXT roster. Just I don't know why. Man, I kind of do know why, but they're hurting for viewership. Bring some of these new talent out, but
my personal opinion is WWE has way too much talent on their roster currently, anyways, on the main roster, and they have too much on their NXT roster. And I understand how odd that sounds to hear that they have too much talent. But when you have all the talent, you have no reason to whatsoever continue to try to be better. They don't need to. They have all the talent there on the show. And any talent, I feel like this generation of NXT talent is going to go to waste. This next generation of call-ups.
Unless they release some of these other guys, get them out of these horrible contracts they're in.
So I don't even understand why people like Ricochet and Adam Cole start out in NXT. I honestly don't. War Machine, that's a slap in teams like that their faces.
Man, imagine War Machine versus the Bludgeon Brothers.
Right.
Oh my God, that would be a
War
freaking
Machine anymore. They're something else now.
War Raid or something. Yeah. Either
War
way,
Raiders.
War Raiders. Imagine those guys versus the Bludgeon Brothers. I mean, it's like you pull these guys up, and then you don't do nothing with them. Look at what they're done to.
See me. I think the Bludgeon Brothers is the worst WWE gimmick right now.
No, I'm not talking. I'm just talking about if you match
no
them
way,
up.
Jose.
What is the tag team they just brought up? AOP, Authors of Pain,
Yeah,
yeah, and they ain't got nothing for them to do. It's just ridiculous.
they're on
But
Raw too as well.
yeah, all right. So are you going with the Bulgarian Brute and Lana tonight?
No, I'm going with the shitty Del Rio
Almost
copy.
the shitty Del Rio copy.
Yep.
And last but not least, on the pre-show is the Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric Alexander is the champion versus Drew Gulak. And, I'm going to be honest with you. I completely forgot there was a 205 Live division, and I keep reading online how it's gotten so much better. But it's like I said, I can't invest into it because they don't put these guys on Raw. I think if you're going to, this is my thing with 205 Live. Give them their own pay-per-view. You're going to throw them on a SummerSlam pay-per-view, but they don't put them on Raw. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't put them on
Here's
live TV.
here's my outlook on 205. That's the cruiserweight division,
Yeah.
or their horrible attempt at a cruiserweight division. They need to get people like Billy Kidman in charge of the talent for that. And
Oh man,
bring stuff
imagine
in.
that.
The problem is, like, the reason why WCW's cruiserweight division was so good was because they had deals with people with areas like New Japan Pro Wrestling or All Japan Pro Wrestling, and they had deals with AAA where they would bring people over and they would compete with everybody. You
Like I,
know, they had good talent. I'm sorry, but they've really picked a bunch of people that don't have a lot of star power to them.
that
I
are
mean,
just undersized wrestlers.
I never thought I'd ever want to see the Angry Elf come back. But for Christ's sakes, bring back the King.
It's like
Bring
I said,
back,
man. It's like
bring
I
back
said.
the Super Angry Elf.
But I can understand that match being on the pre-show. I agree with that match. That actually should probably open the pre-show as how irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not taking nothing away from 205 Live and the athletes they got, but there's absolutely zero interest in 205 Live for me. I mean, you don't even put these guys on Raw to let the people who don't have the network. You know what
But
I'm saying?
let's be fair though. You had interest when Mr. the
Enzo,
Proof in the
yeah.
Pudding was the champion.
Oh yeah, Enzo Amore made 205 Live relevant, and then when he
He's
got
still the
released,
realest fucking champ. He's the only one that hasn't lost his belt. He's still the realest, longest
oh
running champ.
yeah, and it's like I said, as soon as he left, it went complete like back down. But I've heard it's better. I just have not been invested in it. I just have no interest in their quote unquote trash cruiserweight division, and hate me all you want to for those watching or
Taking
will
it off
watch
Raw
later.
was a
But
big mistake.
yeah, and I don't like the fact that they don't have any of the matches on Raw. We
They
used
need
to
to
get
have him
one
on
or
Raw
two.
and on SmackDown. That's what they need to
Yes,
do.
split them
They need
up.
to actually, yeah.
Maybe just
They need-
drop 205 Live and have two separate cruiserweight divisions and just get rid of 205 Live altogether. But then what are you going to do with Drake Maverick? I
right.
don't know. So it's good. They got their hands full, but
You get
like I
rid of
said,
Byron Saxton
I would
or
love to see.
Coachman.
Yeah.
The only fucking money they got on the mic right now, in my personal opinion, is Corey Graves. He's the only real money.
I thought what's her name did fantastic on the mic
Renee
Monday
Young.
night. And Renee Young was an
Yeah,
outstanding color commentary.
she is an outstanding
Outstanding.
commentator.
Yeah, she is a much better commentator than Coachman and Saxton. I was like, man, her voice flows well too. I could see her and Corey Graves arguing all the time. That's what I
The only
want.
reason I like Saxton on Raw when he was on Raw was for Corey Graves and him.
I think you
I'm
should
sorry.
flip Renee Young and Byron Saxton out and just have Byron Saxton do the in-ring like interviews and put Renee Young at the booth. That's just me. Or at the table.
As The Rock called him, the other black guy.
All right, so here we go. We're gonna go over to the main card now, and I don't even know where to start with this.
Man, what a match this is. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Sandow.
All right, so where do you want to start with this? Because you got Raw and SmackDown. You pick one.
We'll go down from the A show to the B show. We'll go from SmackDown to Raw.
All right, so let's start with SmackDown. Which match you want to go with? You want to go with the let's see,
AJKO. We'll start with that one.
AJ and who? Oh, AJ and Samoa Joe.
Yeah, AJ and Joe.
Hey,
It's going
I
to be
think
watered down.
I think it is too. I was not impressed with the way they built this thing. Didn't like the promo they did at the end of SmackDown for a go home promo. I don't think either one of the go home shows were all that spectacular for a go home show.
No,
But
I honestly think it's tasteless how they're using the family aspect again.
yeah,
I never liked it, even when they did it with fucking Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. As big as fans I am of both of them, I didn't like that gimmick either with Little Dominic. But I find the family, when you tag someone's family, I find that distasteful.
and the thing is I think it has the potential to be a good match. I just don't. I'm
No.
not
It
bought
is a
into.
good match,
Yeah.
Rich. It is a good match. Go back to TNA, get GWN Network, TNA. I'm
But
telling you right now,
are
it
we gonna
is a
get?
good fucking
No,
match.
I know it's gonna be a good match, but are we gonna get a TNA match? Or are we gonna get a WWE match? There's two differences.
We
You have
didn't get New Japan Pro Wrestling when we got Shinsuke versus AJ, which is what
exactly.
we had it
So
watered.
I mean, it's gonna be a watered down match, and I don't know, man. Could AJ? How long has AJ had this belt now? Over a year.
241 days, something like that. I think I can start on
Okay,
one.
so oh man, from what
Longer than
I've been
JBL.
reading, yeah, from what I've been reading is they want AJ to hold this belt a while. I'm gonna go with the champ. I just don't see him dropping it to Samoa Joe. And the only reason, don't take nothing away from Samoa Joe, but you put the belt on him, you risk him getting hurt again. I mean, he's been hurt off and on last year. And that's just why I don't know that you can put that belt on Samoa Joe for the simple fact that they may be afraid he's going to get hurt again. You can't put a belt. It's just common sense, I think. But I love Samoa Joe. I think he's a great heel, great worker. But I just don't think, right now AJ Styles has pretty much been like the guy on SmackDown. So I don't see them deviating from that.
I actually think if they booked it right and wrote it smart, you'd have Joe win. Because you have more potential of feuds with Joe. You have more baby faces on SmackDown than you do Raw. You have more potential feuds for Joe than you do for AJ, honestly, in my opinion. What are you
Hmm.
gonna do? Keep rehashing the same feuds over and over? There's only so many people on that. We're gonna what end up with Almas versus AJ? Who fucking who?
I don't know, man. I just don't know where they're going to go with it. But I can see that point as well. And that's what the beauty of doing the show is, we have different views on different things. And I can see that point because, like you said, you got to match a baby face up with a heel. And it's like all the heels are on Raw now trying to put freaking Roman Reigns over. And how
Yeah,
you
we
got all the
got
baby faces on SmackDown. And you're like, it's completely. I think when they did the superstar shakeup, they really screwed it up. But that's just how I feel about it. I thought that moving the Usos to Raw and having a little thing going on with it, like you said, a complete heel family with the Usos, some or not Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and Nia Jax, you would have had a freaking
they've
great time.
already tested this. This is a problem with WWE that pisses me off. They've already tested it with the Usos. They brought the Usos, who were always baby faced and loved. They had they got booed a little bit by the fans because they came out in support of Booman, and then they let them go fucking shoot heel, and it fucking worked amazingly. It legitimately fucking went over.
Yeah.
And then what do? We put them back as baby faces so the Bludgeon Brothers can get over. Are you fucking kidding me? The fucking Bludgeon Brothers. What a joke. The TNA team is a fucking joke.
So we are split on this one. I'm going AJ Styles. You're going Samoa Joe. All right. Let's stay. Okay. Let's go over to Raw next. We'll just flip it back and forth. Let's go with Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins with the return of the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. I'm actually going to go with Dolph Ziggler holding on to this belt for the simple fact that Dean Ambrose just came back. They've got to have something, there's got to be something for Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins to do. I've also heard rumors that it's going to be, American Alpha is going to come back and they're going to start that feud up with with them too. So I'm going with Dolph Ziggler on this one. I think Dolph is one of the better talents in there, even though Seth is a fan favorite. But I think they got different plans with Seth moving forward.
I think I don't think you could be any further from what's going to happen. I think that you're going to see Dean Ambrose turn on Seth. He has to turn on your fucking partner look now. He's come back. He's come back with the "I'm going to fuck my partner over" look. The shaved head with the beard. Think about any time someone comes back with that look, they turn on their best friend or they turn on their partner. We just watched it last night at NXT, the main
But
event.
but
They
you're
were a tag team.
but is he going to do it tonight? Down the road, I think what they're going to do is you're going to see them slowly break them up and then maybe have a match at WrestleMania. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to keep them together for a little bit.
I hope not. I'm tired of the Shield reunion bullshit, dude. I really am. Let it die. Just let the Shield die.
So who are you going with? Are you going with Dolph or Seth?
I'm going with Dolph, the greatest
Yeah.
entertainer they got right now.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back over to SmackDown. Let's go with Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. And it does not say, I think, isn't that a triple threat match?
I can't remember.
Randy Orton was not involved. Because according to Wikipedia, it's just got Shinsuke versus Jeff Hardy. But I somehow think Randy Orton is going to be involved. Of course, Randy Orton is going to be involved with this
Yeah,
one. He's
Randy
been
Orton
feuding with.
is involved in the match. Is involved in it as far
I
as I
believe
know.
it's a triple threat as far as I know. So I think Wikipedia just got this wrong. This is just a rough draft of the card. Oh boy! So I actually think Jeff's going to get this belt back tonight. I think just to prove that he can do it by himself, because Randy Orton's. We got Randy Orton full heel again. I love it. I've always been heel Orton all the way versus face Orton, but I'm going with Jeff Hardy tonight. But then again, Shinsuke could keep this belt, but I'm just going to go with Jeff Hardy just because.
Let's see here.
What are you doing? Looking to see if it's a triple threat.
Yeah, we should know this.
I believe it's a triple threat.
The females match for SmackDown is Carmella Charlotte Flair versus Becky
Yeah.
Lynch. No, Shinsuke versus Jeff.
Oh, that is right. There is
Mhm.
no triple threat match. I still think that
I think
I'm
Randy
still taking.
interferes.
I think Randy interferes, but if he interferes, then maybe it's going to be Shin. Then if he interferes, then it's going to be Shinsuke. Shinsuke
Yeah,
wins via disqualification's got to be the way to book this. I mean, if Randy Orton interferes, but then again, he could interfere and cost Shinsuke the belt just so he can take it off of Jeff Hardy. So it could go either way tonight.
right.
You see what I'm saying? Because they want a Jeff Hardy feud versus Randy Orton. Take the belt off Shinsuke. Have it be a title match. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Hardy. I'm still going with Hardy, even though it's not fair to Shinsuke. But I'm going with Hardy.
I'm gonna go with Shinsuke.
Taking the heel. I'm taking the face.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move over to Raw again. Let's go with Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. Oh, this is one thing. One thing I read about Baron Corbin is they brought him to Raw, right? Then they had nothing for him to do, so they just put the Constable Corbin gimmick on him. Even though we've already had Corporate Kane, it's like they're trying to fool the new people, but not us old school dogs know all about Corporate Kane. So it's pretty much the same identical gimmick. They both got bald heads now. So I'm like, seriously? Oh man, I don't even know where to go with this match. Honestly, I thought this could have been a pre-show match. I think you could have put this on the pre-show and moved the B team up to the main event show. I'm gonna. What do you think, man? Where are they going with this?
I'm going with Finn.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Finn too, especially if they want to continue to push him, because I don't know, man. It's Baron Corbin's character is just so weird. It just doesn't feel right to me. But that's just me. Oh man.
I think you got Finn taking it.
All right, so let's go over to the women's championship. Carmella versus Becky versus Charlotte. Somebody's turning on. I think Charlotte or Becky is gonna. One of them's gonna turn on the other and win the title. I think Carmella's reign as champion is over after tonight.
I don't know, Mella's money.
I still heard they want Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania.
Jesus Christ.
But and you know what though? From what I understand, like Charlotte Flair wasn't supposed to drop that title till she had to have that surgery done. So man, I think Charlotte's gonna. I think I'm taking Charlotte Flair tonight.
I hope not. I think she's one of the most overrated athletes on SmackDown and in the women's division.
All right,
I don't like her.
Hmm. Well, let's not go to that one yet. Let's go to the other women's championship. Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey. Because I'm not going to go into the other one. We're gonna go this one, and then we're gonna go the two Raw, and then we're gonna go back because the money in the bank flip flop between the other two. I'll explain it in a minute. Let's go with Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. I'm actually going to take Alexa Bliss, and I love Ronda Rousey. But let's be realistic. Ronda Rousey has not been in long enough to hold a title. I don't think she's ready for that yet. I think somehow maybe Nia Jax comes back, stabs. Something's going to happen. Maybe Shayna Baszler comes out tonight and somehow like it's going to be a DQ on Ronda Rousey. Like I don't think they're going to put this title on her.
No, I think you're gonna see Bliss lose.
Really?
Yep.
Now I got to hear this one. Why do you think Bliss is going to lose?
They paid Ronda too much money. They pumped her up too much.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's go with your most favorite team in the world, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day. Oh, and much as I like the tag team, don't like the gimmick. I'm going to go with the Bludgeon Brothers for the simple fact that I think they're using them as a powerhouse.
I'm going New Day because I hate the Bludgeon Brothers. I hate the gimmick.
Oh, let's see what is left here on the card. Let's stay in SmackDown. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. It's a tough one, man. I think honestly, I think this is going to be the match of the night. This one should go like 20 minutes, I think. I'm going to go Daniel Bryan.
I'm going Miz.
All right, so the last two matches is we're going to talk about these probably a little bit more in detail because I think there's more frustration and storyline with him. Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. The winner gets to keep the Money in the Bank. Like, is the winner is the Money in the Bank contract is up for grabs. Oh man, yeah, and this was the confusing one because these last two final matches, there is so much intrigue in them. It's not that they're important in terms of they're going to be good matches, but like it's how am I saying this? It's like because you've got a Money in the Bank contract that you can use later on for Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar, or Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. So man, it's a tough one. Man, I would not be surprised. And this is the thing. I think Braun Strowman is completely over, but he's big, he's strong. But man, I don't know. I'm beginning to really love Kevin Owens, man. It's tough. It's tough to see what because I think this can be one of the matches that's going to come down to the last minute and say, we got to do this because this is what's going on. I think this match has got to happen before Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. This match has to happen before that. I don't think it can happen after because you want to have someone cash in as an emergency thing. But man, who are you going with this?
Oh, I want to see KO take it.
I do too, and it's like I said, I love Braun Strowman, but I think If what I'm reading is correct, and they've got Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman and a feud going all the way through WrestleMania, I still think Braun Strowman may win it, but you never know with the WWE these days. I'm gonna go with Braun Strowman for the simple fact that I think that he is more over than Kevin Owens is, and if they wanted someone to have a title that, you know what I'm saying, like
Mm-hmm.
just for the simple fact that it's Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman, you got to have someone who is gonna put the fans like go nuts with get these hands, and that's why I'm gonna take Braun Strowman tonight. And like if there was no Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, I probably would have went the other way. And last but not least, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Oh man, it would not surprise me at all to see Brock Lesnar retain the title, just to piss people off even more. Vince is like, you know what? Screw you, fuck you and your feelings. I'm gonna let Brock Lesnar go into WWE or WCW or UFC with two titles. Let him go in there with a WWE championship. Let him a two title champion. I can see it happening now because Fox owns UFC, and now you're going to get the WWE owning UFC as well. Or the WWE is partnered with Fox and UFC. I think Vince is playing his cards right on this one.
Good
But then,
sir, let me bend your ear for a minute. Let me explain to you about the audacity of your statement here. Brock Lesnar goes into UFC with a WWE championship and walks out and beats Daniel Cormier. Imagine the publicity that gives the WWE.
mm-hmm, that's what I'm saying. That's what
Why
I
would
would
you
not be.
not? Why would you not have Brock Lesnar leave there as champion? How could this be just to piss off fans?
Oh, because they're getting tired of a part-time champion.
Okay, again, I've said this before 100 times. I'm gonna say it again. He's not a part-time fucking champion. Go back to 1990. How many times did you see the title defended in 91? How many
Uh,
times did you see the title defended in 88, in 89, in 87? How long
but
was Hulk Hogan the world heavyweight champion for? How long was Bob Backlund champion for
but
originally?
how
Not
many times did they come on TV? No, talking
about
about defending the title. I'm talking about showing up on TV. We've seen Brock Lesnar, what, twice in the last 2 months?
the same amount we used to see Hulk Hogan.
Well, I mean, when Hogan was the WCW champion, he would do sporadic appearances, but it's
What
not
about
like a
Bob
two
Backlund?
month absence.
How about Bob Backlund?
See, now you're going before my wrestling time. I knew about the cross-race chicken wing, but I did not know about Bob Backlund's title reign.
I'm not talking when Diesel beat him in 30 seconds. I'm talking about when he had his match back when had his match in Madison Square Garden and Arnold Scogan threw in the towel for him.
Hmm.
You didn't see Bob Backlund on TV all the time. You never saw the world champion on TV all the time. That's because it was an attraction. That's because when you did see him, it meant something.
Yeah. And you know what the interesting thing about tonight's pay per view is, and it really is Brock Lesnar is already like booked for tomorrow night's Raw.
Brock Lesnar met with WWE last week, and he told Vince he wanted to work both promotions. And I don't see Vince McMahon not being savvy enough to realize how good this is for business.
But then again, if it's going to take him a year to clear the pool. Like it's going to take him a year to get a match booked. I think the
No,
match.
he's in for December.
Oh, is he in for
He's
December?
fighting. Yeah, he's fighting Daniel Cormier in December.
Hmm.
That was he came on their last pay per view and challenged him. Very much WWE promo style.
Okay, well here's the thing though. What would you think that because they could easily have Brock Lesnar win and then Braun Strowman comes in and cashes out because this is what I think is going to happen. I think whatever happens tonight, if they hear the 1-2, I don't think the fans are going to like who wins this match at all. I don't think they're gonna. You're not going to please them no matter what. So what do you think? You think Brock Lesnar pins Roman Reigns because they tried to make him a full heel? Then like last Monday, like he gave him an F5, and the fans are like, one more time, one more time. So it's like, what do
I
they do tonight, man? Because you could easily have Braun Strowman cash in if the fans turn on him, just because Braun Strowman is over, and then you could have the full Roman Reigns heel turn. I mean, it could go, and that's what makes this pay per view. Not the fact that it's probably going to be, an average pay per view, but just the future going forward with this Universal title, because there's so many open windows that could go.
I don't think you have Braun cash in on Brock if he wins. No, unless it's a fluke.
Now, do you think it'll be a squash match, or you think it's going to be a long match? Because I don't think it should be the main event. I think if they
I'm
put it, I think if they put this on the main event card, like, I think they're asking for fans to turn on the product just because fans are tired of seeing it.
I think you get a good match. Honestly, I don't think you get a squash match. Not
You
this
actually
time.
th- you actually think it's going to be a good match?
I think it's going to be a long match. Not good.
But then again, you could also have the official, you know, the hey, we need to end this thing. Man, it just makes no sense to have this as a main event tonight. But I have a feeling it is going to be a main event.
If you're gonna make Boomin your champion, he wins tonight. If you're gonna put you know what I mean, everything on the division on him, he wins tonight. If you're not, you just have him get beat and have it go. Let it go.
But see, they're talking about turning either Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman heel, is what
Why
they're
not?
talking about tonight. And
Why
this
not
is the
put Boomin with AOP and the Usos and form the Brotherhood? Why not
but
form a faction? Which is what we're missing.
Turning Braun Strowman heel would be a mistake tonight. That's why I don't know that I think that's why they may consider letting Braun Strowman cash in if the fans turn on this match. That's what makes it, like I said, that's what makes this pay per view so intriguing, is because it's not about who wins between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. It does, but you look at that Money in the Bank contract. Like, he could literally cash this in to save face of a bad pay per view, and I could see it
You know what
happening
blows my
that way.
mind? Everyone keeps saying Boomin turns heel. What don't people get? He is a heel.
Maybe they're tired of Vince trying to put
Fans
him over as a baby face.
fans decide if you're a heel or your face. The fans decide it. Nobody
Oh
else.
yeah, but Vince has got him playing, and look, and that's what the thing. That's what is really pissing us off. Fans have been booing him for how long now, and they're
Hmm.
trying to get him over. You turn him heel, he's going to get cheered. I mean, it just the fans love a heel, and it's like you said, they made their choice. They do not like him, so make him a full blown heel. But see, they tried to turn Brock Lesnar heel, and Brock Lesnar, man, that was one of the best heel performances I've seen from him in a long time. Coming out there, uh, F5 and Kurt Angle, that was brilliantly written. Love that whole segment, was outstanding in my eyes, anyway. But it's like I said, man, it's the ending of this pay per view, and I think that's why you're gonna see this as the main event, simply because of that Money in the Bank contract, because I think they're gonna do. I think it's gonna be a little bit of shock and awe. Like, everybody is hell bent on Roman Reigns winning this title, but I think it's either gonna be Brock Lesnar or Braun Strowman. I don't think Roman Reigns is gonna get that title off of Brock Lesnar. I think they're gonna have, uh, and maybe what's gonna happen is that you could even have Roman Reigns pin him, and then Brock Lesnar gets mad and F5s him, and then Braun Strowman, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you
Uh-huh.
turn Roman Reigns heel, is by having Strowman pin Roman Reigns, and there's your heel turn. But it's like I said, there's so many possibilities. Then again, it could be a clean match, and Brock Lesnar walks out of there the champion, and that's what makes these pay per views that much more intriguing.
Right.
All right, so before we get out of here, you got any final thoughts moving forward before this
Yeah, I
kickoff?
want to talk about how distasteful WWE has handled Jim the Anvil Neidhart's passing.
Oh yeah, how they had
using his tribute, or if you lack of better words, tribute, to do bust into a SummerSlam promo on Raw. That was disgusting.
well, look, they do the same thing for Bobby the Brain Heenan. They didn't respect Bobby the Brain either.
No 10 bell salute, no nothing. And the same with Christopher. We got you talk about Brian Lawler's kid, Christopher Lawler. You know, Grandmaster Sexy should have got a 10 bell salute.
I think any wrestler that has done anything worth noteworthy, especially if it's a legend of a son or the son of a legend like Jerry the King Lawler.
Well, not only that, it's looking like he was murdered, like it wasn't suicide.
Did not. I
Like,
haven't read into it.
yeah, if you read the articles with Lawler talking, there's about a fist on each side of Brian's neck was imprints from where the string would have gone across it. But
Hmm.
across his neck, which would have been where Lawler's fit, about the distance of Lawler's fist, is completely clear.
Hmm.
And he has marks on his hand to be like he was trying to pull away from it. On top of that, there was nowhere in his cell for him to string up at. Furthermore, he had a fight with an inmate earlier that day during a card game.
Oh, that's right. He was in prison when that
Yep.
happened.
Four other
Forgot he was.
inmates, four other inmates have come forward to say that Lawler didn't kill himself. There's
Hmm.
more to the story.
Well, it is jail, so
You know,
the
yeah,
worst of
trust
the
me, I know.
worst
I've
is
been
there.
there.
No, I'm
I've
saying the
been.
worst of the worst is in jail.
Oh, I know. Like
But
I said, I've been there.
yeah, but yeah, I just hope, like you said, one thing I'm gonna touch on earlier before we get out of here is what you said earlier. Make this a decent pay-per-view. Don't make me waste 5 hours watching something, or what starts at 5 goes over with at 11. We're looking at 6 hour pay-per-view show. I mean, don't make it worth our while. Make the matches like NXT matches. Don't water the shit down. Let them wrestle. Give the fans what they want. That's all I ask for. That's all I ever ask for. Damn storylines. Give us solid, good wrestling.
If you want to watch 5 hours of a good show, go watch a New Japan Pro Wrestling pay per view.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, that's all the time we got for you guys tonight. We'll be back next week for the SummerSlam recap, and we'll probably do that maybe Wednesday, or maybe we'll do it Tuesday after SmackDown if you're up for it. We'll talk about that later going forward. Everyone, peace, love, and happiness. Be safe out there. Hopefully, we'll have a good pay per view tonight, man.
So,
All right, we are out of here. Peace.
later, guys.